Call a council meeting to order. We have a quorum present. Tonight will be led in prayer by Keith Loy from Celebrate Church here in Sioux Falls, and after the invocation we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance, so I ask everyone to rise.
I would ask if you would just bow your heads and close your eyes for a moment, just in silence as we reflect upon 9/11. Our gracious and Heavenly Father, God, as we've all been reminded throughout this day of the tragic events, God, we ask that you would help us to remember and that we would never forget the innocent who perished in such an attack. And God, we'd ask that you would continue to comfort those families in their loss as they grieve, as they remember, as they reflect throughout this day. God, we also ask that you would help us to remember those who willingly gave of their lives in the immediate rescue, who gave unselfishly for the good and the care of others, who performed their duties and their tasks heroically. And God, we ask that you would continue to be with those who serve in our armed forces, that risk their lives, and the many who have already paid that ultimate sacrifice because of their duty and their belief in for which this country stands. And now, Father, in the memory of this, Lord, we ask you to be upon this gathering. That, God, you would grant it to be holy ground. And that these leaders, our leaders, in light of 9/11, would better understand and embrace their offices to which they've been elected. That, God, more than political diversity, we ask you to unite them for the betterment of this city. God, give them your wisdom to discern what is best, what is right, and what would be honoring to you. God, grant them the ability to step aside from their selfish wants and maybe personal agendas or opinions to endeavor the possibilities of what can be when unity is of highest priority. Give them your peace, your passion, and your purposes. God, bless them and bless this city. In your Son's name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Carol, you coming, or Sandy? Okay, come on up. We have a proclamation tonight for Suicide Prevention Week, and we want to thank Helpline for all you do. So it reads, whereas in the United States, one person dies by suicide every 17 minutes, and it's estimated that 4.47 million people in the United States are survivors of the suicide of a loved one. Whereas the most recent statistics show that there were 114 suicide deaths in South Dakota in the year 2004. Whereas suicide is now the 9th leading cause of all deaths in the state of South Dakota and the 2nd leading cause of death among people from the age of 15 to 34 in South Dakota. Whereas the stigma associated with mental illness works against suicide prevention by discouraging persons at risk for suicide from seeking life-saving help, and the stigma associated with suicide further traumatizes those people who lose a loved one to suicide. Whereas the South Dakota Strategy for Suicide Prevention represents an important starting point for the prevention of suicide attempts, and its efforts should be supported and encouraged to the maximum extent possible. Whereas the Helpline Center in Sioux Falls, South Dakota is the only crisis line in South Dakota that is certified by the American Association of Suicidology and is dedicated to reducing the frequency of suicide attempts and deaths and the pain of survivors affected by suicide of loved ones through their suicide prevention, intervention, and post-vention efforts. Whereas it has been acknowledged that suicide is a major health problem and support must be given for educational programs, research projects, and intervention services. Now, therefore, I, Dave Munson, Mayor of the City of Sioux Falls, do hereby proclaim September 10th through September 16th, 2006, as Suicide Prevention Week in Sioux Falls. And congratulations on all you do. Okay, let's get started. Is there any additions or deletions or a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I so move. Knutson.
Knutson, is there a second?
Second, Jamison.
Jamison seconded. Further discussions? Not all in favor of approving the consent agenda will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no.
Council members Benega,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jamison,
Yes.
Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
All members present voted. The consent agenda has been approved. Is there a motion to approve the regular agenda?
Move for approval, Jamison.
Jamison, is there a second?
Kavanaugh.
Second.
Kavanaugh.
Kevin, okay. Is there any further additions, Gerald?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to move item number 8 to follow item number 17 on the agenda, please.
Item number 8 to follow 17. Is there a second to that motion?
Second, Jamison.
Okay. Is there any further motions? Not. We've got a motion before us. All in favor of that motion to...
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I would like to see item 17 moved to the last item on the agenda to accommodate anyone who might be here for items prior to that.
You'd like to move item 17 where?
To the end of the agenda.
So that would be to follow, what's the last item we have?
Follow 19.
19 is the last one we have. Okay, that'd be to follow 19,
Clarification. Would we then put 8 after 17?
and then just have 17 follow that?
Yes.
Okay.
17 and 8 would be moved to the end.
Pardon?
Yes, so why don't you move 17 and 18? Is that your motion? Okay, is there a second to that motion?
I don't think we have that straight.
No.
Item 17 would be the last item on the agenda, followed by 8. Item 7.
Let's do this first. Let's take the first motion. Let's take the
Because we'd already passed
Let's take
the
the
other
motion that we
motion.
had that was made by Bennigan. And it was seconded by. Okay, and it was seconded. Let's take that motion and move that down below 17, and then we'll take your motion. So, all in favor of taking item number 8 and moving down below 17 will vote yes. Those opposed vote no.
Council members Benega,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jamison,
Yes.
Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers.
No.
All members present voted. Item 8 has been moved to 17. Now we've got a motion to take 17 and number 8 and move that below number 19. So that
Right,
motion's
to
been
follow
made and
19.
seconded. Further comments on that motion? Who seconded it? That was
I'll
James?
second it.
Brown seconded it. Everybody understands that motion? Okay. All in favor of that motion will vote yes. Those opposed vote no.
Council members Benega,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jamison,
Yes.
Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
All members present voted, so that motion passes. So now we're back to the regular agenda. Motion been made by James, second by Kavanaugh, to approve the regular agenda as amended. Are there further motions? Seeing no further motions, we got the motion before us to approve the regular agenda has been amended. All in favor of that motion will vote yes. Those opposed vote no.
Council members Benega,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jamison,
Yes.
Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
All members present voted. The regular agenda has been approved as amended. Now we're at the point of public input. Anyone wishing to address the council for a period of 5 minutes may do so at this time, so if you want to come forward, give us your name and address, and you got 5 minutes, so come forward at this time.
Yes, my name is Daniel Brooks. I'm at 809 South Lyons Avenue, and I come here on 2 issues that I'm faced with right now. One of them is regarding my children who attend Roosevelt High School. What happens is that the bus, they leave our home at 6:30 a.m. in the morning. They take a 15-minute walk to the bus stop. The bus picks them up at 6:55. Bus takes 20 to 25 minutes to get them to school, and at 7:20 they arrive at school. Their school don't start until 8:05. They got to be in class at 8:10. I'm being told by the transportation board that this is it. That's what they have, that one bus to pick them up at 6:55 and get them to school at 7:20. So that means my children are sitting outside somewhere doing something for 45 minutes without no supervision or no nothing. That leaves me with a blank. According to my job, I have to report at 6 a.m. in the morning, so I personally cannot take them to school. So that's why I depend on the public transportation to get them to school. But the problem I'm having is that when we go into the winter months, it becomes pitch dark at night. I feel afraid to send my child out on the street at 6:30 in the morning when it's pitch dark. I spoke to the Transportation Authority. They said they suggested that and recommended that they put another bus on at 7:15. 7:15 will get my child to school by 7:25, 7:45, depending on traffic. They're telling me that problems they're having is no cash to put on a second bus. The first bus that they use at 6:55 is packed. Kids are standing up on the bus. It would be in their best interest to put on a second bus, I'm being told. But the thing is, there's a $5,000 budget shortage. They're short $5,000 in order to put this bus on for the rest of the school year. They're telling me a full school year will cost about $16,000. I see that this is very little money to make my children be safe and other families members being safe and traveling to school in the morning. I don't understand why that anyone, the school board, anyone would expect from me to put my child out on the street at 6:30 in the morning when it's pitch dark outside, knowing that I'm not going to be around or there's no other supervision around, and then let them be at school and no supervision there. I mean, for my children are perfect and they're beautiful and they're happy kids, but the bottom line is they'll do whatever is available to them. So if they get to school 45 minutes earlier, and some kids want to hop to the Burger King or whatever and decide to do whatever they want to do, they may go into the car and accident, anything, possibility. So I'm asking the mayor and the council to help me out with this situation, because at 6:30 a.m. in the morning, I do not want to put my kids on the street. The transportation is telling me they need $5,000 for the rest of the school year. Next year, they would need $16,000. And that would be plus or minus if they use the bus, the second bus, for the complete full year. If they just use it for the school year, it would be less than $16,000. So that's one of my issues. My second issue is I own Granny's Golden Oven, which is on the corner of 18th and Grange. We had a lot of construction there. So much construction where it closed down my outside cafe completely. I had put over $2,000 in building an outside cafe so this summer that I can serve the customers who love to sit outside and just enjoy the outside. This year they could not. So not only did they shut me down, but that was a total waste of my funds. And I wanted to know if the city mayor and the city council have anything where they can assist me in this endeavor that I'm in right now. My landlord, she still wants her money. Electric, gas, phone, everybody still wants their money, but because of the construction, I'm completely shut down. Not really completely shut down, but there's no traffic. I mean, there's absolutely no traffic. We went from a 7,000 to maybe 1,000 budget. If I were to think for one moment, if we had a capital budget of multi-millions of dollars, and we took a percentage of that and said, okay, let's put something to the side where we can assist, where if something goes on in my situation where we had to shut a business down, we can assist that business in some area. I'm not saying that I expect the city to make my business as a profitable business, but to assist me in a way where I'm not just being there watching the construction. And that's what's happening right now. I just want to put that out there because I would like, if it's possible, that the city can come up with something or give me some type of suggestions where they can help. And I also notice in my community that there's other businesses that's closing stores, vacant buildings, vacant houses. I mean, that whole route between 18th and Grain all up and down 12th Avenue. Franklin Motors, I had watched their business, no cars moving off that lot. On the corner of Lyons and 12th Avenue, they took all their cars off the lot. This is basically a building that's deserted. And at 18th and Grange, where I do business at, it became a completely ghost town. And like I suggested before, we got to do something, because if I look at any utility company, cable company, electric company, if they go in front of a person's property and destroy the lawn, they are able to put that lawn back together. They're able, if nothing, replant the flower. They might not be able to replace that exact flower, but they can plant another flower there. And all I'm asking the city to do is assist me with this area where construction has came in, and which is good for the city. Have no complaint by that. I love to have the highways and roadways perfectly in order. But the bottom line is that I'm paying for it, and I have to suffer because of it. And again, I'm just asking the city if there's anything that's possible. Could you please suggest it? Let me know so that I can follow up on it. Thank you very much.
We got a task force working on the bus issue, and if you want to talk to Jane right there in the red, standing back against the wall, she heads that up. So if you want to go back and talk to her about that, that'd be fine right now, and see if she can help you on that. So.
All right, thank you, sir.
Can I ask a question? Yeah. Daniel?
Daniel?
Yeah, I was just wondering, the 18th and Grange, is that intersection now completed? Or are they still working some more on it?
When they first started, they said a week, 2 weeks. But they forgot to tell us that there are sections. So what they do is tear up a 100-block section and then move to another 100-feet section, then move into another 100-feet section. And that's been going on for 8 weeks now. Okay. And right now they're at another 100-foot section on the other side of Sioux Valley Hospital. So 18th is partially open, and Grain is partially open. So basically, again, I'm still sitting there waiting for some traffic, and because it became a ghost town, I mean, that corner was, if you got lost, you would make your U-turn, and that was it. So people are starting to say, okay, let's slow down this traffic and let's see what's going on there.
When they finally get done with the project, will you still have enough space for outdoor dining or not?
Well, we'll be going into the winter months, and
But next summer, will you still have an adequate space?
Yes, we will still be there. But like I said, it's a struggle right now, and with bottom line is no income coming in, it's difficult, and that's the position that I am in right now. So, like I said, I appreciate any suggestions that the mayor and the city can give me, the council. I really appreciate that, especially on my bus tour, and I'll be talking to the young lady about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Others wish to address the council for 5 minutes at this time. Come forward, give your name and your address, please.
My name is Gene Malloy. I live at 511 East 3rd Street in Del Rapids. And I'm here because of a bill that I received from the city for a rental property that I own at South Blauvelt, 1012 South Blauvelt. There was apparently garbage that was left at the curb by tenants that lived there that I more or less had removed them. They damaged the property.
See, excuse me, if you're on it, if you want to wait until item 14, and then we'll be taking some public testimony on it at that time. So if you want to just wait, that'd be great at that time. Then you can. Thank you very much. Others wish to address council for 5-minute public input? Not. Let's move into the agenda items. Number 5.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, declaring certain real property of the city surplus and authorizing the disposition thereof.
Good evening, Kevin Smith with the Office of Public Works. As was reported last week, this parcel of property was created as the result of a surveying error several years ago. It is our intent to declare it surplus and to offer it at sealed bids for sale.
Questions of Kevin? Others wish to address council. Item number 5. Council discussion or action on item number 5.
I move for approval. Knutson.
Knutson, is there a second?
Second, Costello.
Costello seconded. Further comments? Seeing no further comments, all in favor of approving item number 5, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Council members Benega,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present voted. Item number 5 has been approved, 8-0. Item 6.
Second reading and ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, declaring certain real property of the city surplus and authorizing the disposition thereof.
These two lots were the result or have been left vacant after the former water tower was demolished or was disassembled and sent to the city of Hartford. It's our intent to declare them surplus and offer them for sale, I believe, at public auction.
Questions of Kevin on item number 6? Others wish to address council item number 6? Council discussion or council action on item number 6?
Move to approve. Brown.
Brown moved. Is there a second?
Second, Jamison.
Jamison seconded. Further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, all in favor of the motion to approve item 6, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Council members Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present voted. Item 6 has been approved, 8-0. Item number 7.
Second reading and ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, amending the revised ordinances of the city by changing the time of Sunday hours of sale of malt beverages for off-sale dealers.
Good evening, Doug Barthel, Police Chief. This ordinance is just a minor correction to get the ordinance in position with what we've actually been enforcing over the years, changing the hours. It was incorrectly listed as 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. It should, in fact, be 12 a.m.
Further questions on item number 7? Others wish to address council item number 7? All council discussion or action on item number 7?
Move for approval, Jamison.
Jamison moved. Is there a second?
Second, Benninger.
Benninger seconded. Further comments? Seeing no further comments, all in favor of the motion to approve item 7, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Council members Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Item 7 has been approved, 8-0. Item 9.
Deferred action, a resolution declaring the necessity to construct sidewalk on South Connie Avenue and assessing the cost to each lot or tract of land benefiting thereby.
Good evening, Mark Connor with the Office of Public Works. We are requesting another deferment. We've got a late request to defer this to October 2nd. The intent is for this sidewalk, for Public Works and Planning to recommend this sidewalk be constructed in 2006. The Dunham Company intends to meet with the Office of Public Works and Planning to work out an agreement to not bring this to a resolution of council. Recently, the city has bid and awarded a contract to do city portion of the sidewalk around the detention pond in the area. That work is planned to start in late September and to be completed by October 20th.
Is there, Kevin?
Mark, is it the administration's intent to require the applicant or this individual to put the sidewalk in? Because if we have another deferral here, we're going to be outside of the season, and it's tantamount to another one-year delay.
It is our intent to recommend and to support that this sidewalk get installed based on topography and the other sidewalk network in the area.
Do you need council approval to require that? What's the argument against us just going ahead and passing this resolution tonight?
It was a request by the property owner, and so that'd be a decision you can make to not approve the deferment.
Bob?
Why?
As we've been told that Mr. Dunham will be out of the office for another week on medical leave.
But even if we pass the resolution, they still have the option of doing that privately before we assess them. Is that not correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
What's the wishes of the council? Is to defer till October 2nd or to move forward today? Is there any motions? Or
Mr. Chair, I would move for approval of the resolution.
motion to approve the motion? Is there a second?
Second, Litz.
Let's second it. Further comments?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
my only reason for doing this, certainly I would support the administration's efforts to sit down with this individual and get the project done. And hopefully it can be done in conjunction with the city's project, and everybody will save some money. But if that doesn't happen, we've just given this individual another 1-year delay.
Okay, we got
This will give the administration I think, the authority to negotiate with them, knowing that this council wants that sidewalk put in.
Well, I guess my concern is we should be very sensitive to this property owner, because this property owner is paying for this sidewalk to benefit the city of Sioux Falls. So I don't think there's anything unreasonable here in asking for this deferral.
Further comments? Others who wish to address the council on item number 9? Come forward, please.
My name is Bill Murphy. I live at 3708 West 74th Street. And I've lived at that address for over 6 years now, and I believe this property has been developed, fully developed, for the past probably more going on 5 years. And I think it's past due for this sidewalk to be established there. For your information, there are sidewalks on both sides of Louise Avenue between 69th and 74th Street. There's no property developed there whatsoever. So I'm here to heartily endorse that the city go ahead and make sure that the sidewalks are put into County Avenue.
Questions? Thank you very much. Others who wish to address council on item number 9? We've got a motion been made and seconded to approve item number 9. Is there further discussion? If not, all in favor of the motion to approve, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Council members Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Knudsen?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
No.
All members present have voted. Item number 9 has been approved. 7 yes, 1 no. Item number 10.
Deferred action, a resolution vacating West 22nd Street from South Ellis Road to 457 feet east, proposed South Wheatland Avenue.
We're also requesting a deferral on this item, but for a different reason. There's currently a memo of understanding that's being circulated between the city, the school, and Ronning Homes to address this vacation, and so we do need additional time for this vacation to be reviewed by the school, the city, and Ronning Homes.
What, if you have a date?
I'd like to defer to October 9th.
October 9th.
I so move Knudsen.
Knudsen moved for deferring. Is there a second?
Second, Costello.
Costello seconded. Further discussions?
It's just a question. Mark, what was the city's, and before, when this was first, petition was first submitted, what was the city's initial reaction? What was their first?
Well, there's been some history here because the original West Side Corridor, the TLS Road was that alignment, and so actually with that alignment, we didn't support having 22nd there as an access point. And so when the subdivision plan came in, it was approved without 22nd Street there. Now that the West Side Corridor has been moved out farther west, we re-looked at the functionality of 22nd Street. And so for that reason, the three groups are working together to see if the necessity is needed.
Can I ask the maker of the motion to defer Knudsen and the maker that seconded Costello if it'd be all right? Because October 9th, or the October 9th is a holiday, that's Monday, so we'll be meeting on the 10th. Is that
Yes.
approval?
That's what we meant to say.
So you're okay with that? Everybody understand that we asked for the deferral for the 10th of October instead of the 9th. Further discussion? If not, all in favor of deferring until October 10th will vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Council members Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Knudsen?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Item 10 has been deferred till October 10th. Item 11.
Mayor, I need to excuse myself from this discussion.
Be noted that Councilmember Knudsen will be excused from item number 11.
Deferred action, a resolution authorizing the formation of a Sioux Falls Sports Authority.
evening. I'm Bob Winkles with the Winkles Group at 4601 South Louise, and I'm here to discuss just briefly for the public what the Sports Authority is about. You have had, I believe all of you have copies of the final report. This was a public meeting which was held on July 21st, so I think you've had pretty good exposure to this. I also have brought with me this evening a couple of documents, frequently asked questions that were handed out at that meeting on the 21st, and then some that have been recently developed due to questions about the Minnesota Vikings and then subsequently going to Mankato. So if you would like those, I certainly can pass those out or have them for the press afterwards. First, I'd like to just apologize. Both Kelby Krabanoff and Dana Dykehouse were not able to make it tonight. They are the co-chairs of Sioux Falls First. I worked with them throughout this process to help manage the process, and I've been at every meeting, so hopefully I can answer any question that you come up with. What I'd like to give you is just a very brief history since February, from February through July. Sioux Falls First met. This is a group of 38 business and education and government people on a steering committee. They included Mark Benedetto of University of Sioux Falls, Rob Oliver of Augustana, soon to be installed as president, Pam Holman of Sioux Falls School District. It also included Terry Ellis Schmidt from the Convention and Visitors Bureau, Rusta Curtins from SMG, Bill Bennett from John Q. Hammonds, and Andy Howes, a member of the council, was a member of that steering committee until his term expired, and Gerald Benninga came for the last couple of meetings. It was just about over at that time. What this is about, the Sports Authority, is to take advantage of a great opportunity that Sioux Falls has to become a premier sports center for this region. You know, as a city, we've been doing a great job with athletic for youth, great tournaments regionally, nationally, and some softball, soccer, and those kinds of things. And we're doing a great job with the sports teams that are out at the arena that Rusta Curtins is managing. But in between, there are a lot of things that we don't get exposure to. Places like Sioux City are getting national tournaments, either NCAA or NAIA championships that we're not exposed to. There could be, whether it be a track event or in the case of professional sports, the training camp that was running parallel on this course. The Vikings have been discussed, but the Kansas City Chiefs also have. This was their last year in Wisconsin at a small college. So we have fantastic facilities. One of the things that's been holding us back to some degree is that there's no central point that people can deal with. If someone wants to use Howard Wood, they were dealing with the Sioux Falls School District. If they wanted to use the arena, that's SMG. If they wanted to use the convention center, that's John Q. Hammonds. And what's needed, at least in that example, is something to pull this together, and that's what the feeling is with the Sports Authority. Basically, it would be set up as a 501c3. The intention is to have 15 members on a board of directors, 5 of those that you would name, and that would be your initial action in approving this. 5 that the school board would name, and so 10 would be, of the 15 would be from public entities, and then 5 at large. And so we're asking you tonight to consider authorizing this and to name 5 members to that board of directors. I'd be open to any questions.
Questions of Bob?
Yes, Bob, you know, I heard the presentation on July 21st, and at the time I heard the presentation and subsequent questions, I was a little concerned that in the future there might, you know, be a request from the city for some tax money to operate this. I remember one of the briefers was talking about maybe we can get some money from the CVB. Well, the CVB gets money from the city, and is there any assurance that you can give us that you're not going to be asking for tax money in the future to operate?
I would say this, Kermit, there has been a lot of discussion about that, and the intention has been from the outset that this is a self-sustaining entity. But in that venue, what we're talking about is if, for example, there was tax money created that would not have otherwise been created. In other words, it was solely because of the acts of the Sports Authority. That would be the only time that on the backside the Sports Authority could ask you for dispensing some of that money back to keep this rolling. And there wouldn't be, as far as seed money, that's been talked about as private, like Sioux Falls, Forward Sioux Falls 5 as one, or Development Foundation funds, but not asking you initially, and any of those kinds of actions would need to come back here for you to approve anyway. But that's the only one that's been discussed, because we do want to have this coordinated very closely with the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and it could generate some things that otherwise would not be income.
Further question, Bob? Let's.
Yeah, Bob, I say I've been familiar. I went and was exposed to the presentation that you had. I think it sounds like a good idea. I'm just hoping that it doesn't. I've seen on ESPN where they've had hot dog eating contests, and we don't bring one of those to Sioux Falls under the guise of sport. But I had a little bit of conversation with Gerald, and I'm wondering why we'd have to have a resolution authorizing the formation of one. What is the advantage for the city council?
Well, for this to be a 501c3, it needs to have that kind of backing, that you have to have a public entity, and that's another reason that 10 out of the 15 are publicly appointed positions, because tax-wise you'd have some difficulty otherwise.
Very good.
Further questions? Others that wish to address the council on item number 11? Bob?
Bob, one of the things that on one of the presentations was the marketing capability of the Sports Authority. Would you touch on that a little bit?
Well, it's one of the things I think that was a strong feeling within the several meetings we had discussing this was that, you know, it's difficult for, when I use Howard Wood as the example, because that's the most obvious one, where it sits available so long, but the school board really is not in a position. They're tied relative to how they're using their funds and things they can really do to be able to promote that for other uses. So that's one of the things that this entity, and using the training camp as an example, we can go to a professional sports team and offer a package that here's what can happen here, and we'll help you with all of the things. You won't have to, which, using the Vikings as a case, this year, since the Mankato group went bankrupt, they had to negotiate with the college for the rooms and the facility of the stadium. They had to negotiate separately for the rooms, all of the food, all of those kinds of things, whereas if we can get this together under one entity and then market the two of them, it should be a much easier sell. Other questions?
Further questions of Bob? Not, is there council discussion or action on item number 11?
Move for approval, Benninga.
Benninga, is there a second?
Second, Litz.
Litz seconded. Further comments?
Well, as I mentioned before, I did go to the July 21st meeting, and, you know, I think this is really a good idea to have something like this, but I guess I'm sorry that I'm going to have to vote against this, and the only reason I'm going to vote against this is because I'm very concerned that this is going to be another entity in the future that's going to be taking tax money, and at this time, we're already subsidizing so many organizations in Sioux Falls. We don't want to have another organization to subsidize, basically.
Thank you.
Further comments? Okay, Bob.
I think as long as the resolution is going to be voted on, the members that are going to be serving should also be named before we vote.
Do we have, does that list up?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's on the resolution.
It's right on there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's on the list. Did everybody see that?
But the public may wish to know who
Okay, you want to read those off?
The Sioux Falls City Council hereby approves the appointments of Doug Barthel, Russ DeCurtins, Jim Entman, Don Kearney, and Dee Knudsen by the Mayor of Sioux Falls as initial directors of the Sioux Falls Sports Authority.
Further comments on item number 11? We've got a motion been made and seconded. Benninga and Litz made the motion to move and second. Further comments? See no further comments. All in favor of approving item number 11, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Council members Benninga,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jameson,
Yes.
Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers.
No.
All members present voted 6 yes, 1 no, and 1 excused. Item 11 has been approved. Item 12.
A resolution vacating East Russell Street from North St. Paul Avenue to 300 feet east.
This roadway is in the vicinity of East Rice Street and I-229. It's just north of American Freezer. The petitioner has followed all the guidelines, gotten support from the adjoining property owners, and internally, based on topography and other roadway connection needs, Public Works supports this vacation request.
Questions of Mark? Others wish to address the council? Go ahead, Bob.
Yes, Mark, I'm looking at the location of this, and will ultimately this land come up for sale to somebody? Is that the idea, the end result?
No, the petitioner is the house immediately north of the yellow hatched area, and he expects to expand the building on his property.
Further questions? Others wish to address council? Item number 12. Not council discussion or action. Item number 12.
Move for approval, Costello.
Second,
Costello moved. Kavanaugh seconded. Further comments? Seeing no further comments, all in favor of approving item 12, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Council members Benega,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jameson,
Yes.
Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
All members present have voted. Item number 12 has been approved. 8 yes, 1 excused. Item 13.
A resolution approving the special assessment roll for the mowing of weeds and grasses in various areas in the city of Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Gene Roanhorse, Director of Finance for the City of Sioux Falls. This is our regular event that we have of assessing the landowners for after being notified not mowing their lawns or mowing property or keeping it maintained properly. These will show up on their tax bill, with ones that they get, I believe, in a February or March timeframe. Is when the assessments will show up.
Questions of Gene on item number 13? Others that wish to address the council on item number 13? Not. Is there council discussion or action on item number 13?
Move for approval, Jameson.
Jameson moved. Is there a second?
Second, Kavanaugh.
Kavanaugh seconded. Further comments? I see no further comments. All in favor of approving item 13 vote yes. Those opposed vote no.
Council members Benega,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jameson,
Yes.
Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers.
No.
All members present voted 6 yes, 1 no, and 1 excused. Item number 13 has been approved. Item 14.
A resolution approving the special assessment roll for nuisance removal in various areas in the city of Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
This is the regular assessment for the removal of nuisance-type issues on property. People are notified at least twice of the nuisance, and then the city goes ahead and removes it. These same assessments will show up on the property tax bills that will be mailed out the first part of the year, first part of 07.
Questions of Gene? Others that wish to address council item number 14? Council discussion or action? Oh yeah, further, come up now, excuse me.
Do you need my name and address again?
Yeah, just please.
Gene Malloy,
Thanks.
511 East 3rd, Del Rapids.
Thanks, Gene.
I own a property at 1012 South Blauvelt. Last year, I have here a notice from the city dated July 12th of 2005. That was sent to the tenants, Heather and Greg Gertis. Also, one was sent to me to a previous address that I lived in, Brandon. I never received that notice. I also never saw the notice that's posted on the door, and I never saw the garbage. Otherwise, I would have taken care of it. It doesn't make sense for me to ignore a pile of garbage like that and not take care of it myself. I have 15 years of remodeling and repair experience. Presently, I'm employed at an area hospital as a registered nurse, and I've been here since 1970. And I would have taken care of it myself. It would have cost me about maybe $60 to take my pickup to the dump a couple times, and I've done that before when I needed to. It also doesn't make sense for me to ignore any bills. The first bill that I received is dated 4/30 of this year, 06. That's the first time that I knew that there was a problem here, and then I started calling the different departments, trying to find out what it was about. It took a little while to even find out what property they were talking about, and to find out eventually that I could come here and make an appeal. So what I'm asking is, and I also did receive a judgment in small claims court against the Gerdes, and I would have included this cost. I would have paid it, and I would have included it had I known that it was there. I guess I'm just asking you to believe me because it makes sense. I do have that judgment, a copy of it, and a list of items that I charged them for. I'm asking the city to pursue them for this cost and not me, and to not place a lien on my property.
Are there questions of Gene from the council? Kevin?
Gene, you indicated that you did not get the notice requiring you to remove the litter, but you did get the bill.
I got a bill just this year.
Was that bill addressed to the Brandon address as well?
Initially it was, yeah, actually.
But it was forwarded?
I believe so, yeah.
I'm just curious. You did not get the first...
I did not.
I assume both the bill and the first notice and the bill were sent to the same address?
I did not receive the notice. This is from over almost a year ago now.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But
And the first notice that I got was 4/30/06, which is a bill.
Right.
I received no other notice.
Okay.
I would have taken care of it. It just makes sense that I would have. I don't really want to go back to small claims against the Gerdes again. You know, it's not something I really relish doing, and I feel like the city should pursue them and not me for this.
Thank you.
Other questions?
Yeah, we're trying to figure out how much does the city want from you?
It was $300, almost $400, $369.
So $369.
$369.
Kevin?
Since this was litter removal, I guess is it the health department that, Mark?
Go ahead, Mark.
Pull up the photo here. In regards to where the notices and the bills are sent to, we send them to the address that is on the deed at the courthouse, and so that's our process as far as an assessment goes. To give a quick overview how this gets transpired, because we are starting to see several of these tonight. There's a long list of litter cleanups of varying amounts, but it starts with a litter complaint comes from a neighbor to the health department. Complaints reviewed. A notice is sent to the occupant and the landowner that the fact that it is a health violation, they need to clean it up within 3 days. We take pictures before and after, and we certainly try to do this as expeditiously as we can, but we do bill our time and our equipment to perform this work. And then if the assessment is not paid, we're here tonight. And so on this particular one, we do have the before and afters for you to review.
Mark, that one picture, this one right here, this is what we're charging $369 for, is that right?
We are. And understand, too, there's a certain amount of dollars that it takes to load up the equipment, go from the landfill to the property, take care of the litter, and then drive it back and unload it.
But I've seen so much of this in Sioux Falls. I mean, and I find it hard to believe, $369 for this a little amount.
I mean, I'm looking at the same thing, and my same question is, I mean, that looks like a guy in a pickup.
It is, and we've got a breakdown. Do we also have the bill? The invoice that is sent to the property owners detailed out. We have what the supervisor's charge-out rate is, the amount of hours that he spent, which was 2 hours, and service workers, and the landfill tipping fee. I understand, but it also takes us away from our operations.
2 hours to collect that?
There is travel time involved in that.
Vern, did you?
Mr. Malloy, how routinely do you drive by your property?
Well, this particular one, once the people were out, I stayed away from it. They had a small leak in the water heater that I'm going to guess was probably about 2 months running. And even after everything was cleaned up, it took me a little while to figure out that it was from there. But the basement had been damp and wet for probably, I'm going to guess, about 2 months. I had a mold reclamation people come, and they had to seal the property off, and they put a machine in there that apparently changes the molecular structure of the air and kills mold. And then they had to spray it twice after that. And they told me to stay out of there until they were done, and that's pretty much what I did. I did drive by there to see that they were gone, the people were gone. There was no garbage there at that time. I did drive by there in the process of the people doing the mold reclamation just to see how things were going. Routinely, I have 4 small rental units. They're part of my retirement plan. I won't probably own any more than that. It's
Mark,
plenty.
how long did this sit out on the curb like this? Do you know? And did it come to us by a complaint, I assume?
That complaint actually comes through the health department, and I don't have that information.
Okay.
Judy's right there. Do you want to come up?
This complaint, because it had garbage in it, was made a 3-day complaint. So we took that complaint and about the 10th of July and got the letter out and dated on the 12th and made that a 3-day complaint because it was garbage, and we wanted that removed because it has such ability to draw other activity. So it was re-inspected again, and then it was cleaned up on the 18th. So it had been out during that time. We'd taken that complaint. And I did bring along today, as we were looking at the address piece, we did a search on this location, the 1012 South Lovell, and by both the city and the county's parcel records, that address for Mr. Malloy is still is the same as the Brandon X address that we used last year. And we did call down to the county to make sure that that was the most recent address they had for him on that property.
Kevin?
Gene, this is a rental property, is that correct?
Correct.
I'm asking Gene.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said Judy.
No.
Gene,
Did you register the rental property?
Yeah.
When you registered that property, to give your address as Brandon or Del Rapids?
Well, when I bought it, I lived in Brandon.
Okay. Did you update the...
I don't believe I did. I didn't really think about it.
Further questions?
I guess at the very least, maybe it would be better to have those notices sent registered mail so a person could sign for them. And that way, there's no question as to whether or not I received any notice, which I'm telling you that I didn't. I would have taken care of it, certainly. And I wouldn't jeopardize my property, and if it comes down to it, if all that you do is to require a registered letter being sent, I guess that's pretty good too. But
Pat?
I'd like you to pursue them for this bill. After all, they're the ones that caused it. And, I've improved all my I've improved all my properties. I put new roofs. I put new high-efficient furnaces, replacement windows in 2 of them. One of them, this particular property actually has better windows in it than my own home. I'm not a slumlord. I don't ignore these kinds of things. My credit rating is 750 to 780 the last time I looked, which is within the last 6 months. So I'm trying to tell you that I am a responsible person the best way I can, that you could check on that, I guess.
Pat?
Mark, could we have the bill put on the screen again, please?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to amend his bill to $150 to a more reasonable amount, which seems would be appropriate for one individual to take a pickup and haul it out to the dump.
I'd second that.
The motion is to amend the 369 to 150? Is that it? And let's second that motion. Is there further discussion? Kev?
I'm not sure it's worth arguing about, but I think we're missing the point here. It's not the amount of the bill. I certainly understand when someone would look at $369 for the work that was done and say it's too much, but the city of Sioux Falls is not in the business of cleaning up people's litter and hauling it to the landfill. We should charge more than it would cost. That's the incentive to get people to do things.
And if I can add, Council, from our standpoint, we don't want to be here either. If we didn't have to have this to do this service, we certainly would free us up to do other required work. The fact of the matter is the work was done and the hours were charged.
I guess my point, Mark, is that I don't think it would be necessary to take those kind of man hours to do that kind of job. And if that's the kind of efficiency we have in our city, that really concerns me.
Understand.
I agree with Kevin. It's not the city's responsibility to be in garbage hauling service, and it's meant to be expensive to enforce that burden upon the homeowner. You know, it's the cost of doing business.
I'm not disputing how much. I mean, that's not what I'm here for. I'm asking that you pursue the people that left it there. And I understand that
Ultimately, it's your responsibility.
I'm saying that I was not informed. And if had I been, I would have done it. Have a pickup.
But you bear the responsibility to register that property correctly. That's not our responsibility.
I got the rest of my mail. I was forwarded. I don't know why I did not get that notice.
We've got...
Mail does get lost.
Yeah, Gene, did you get any phone calls from the city about this matter at all?
No.
You know, it would have taken maybe 30 seconds to phone you or try to locate you.
Yeah.
If it would...
And I did get this bill, you know. I mean, I did get this. I don't, you know, I did get this one, and I've gotten all the rest of my mail. I'm not saying that it wasn't sent. I'm saying it was, but it didn't get through. I did not get it. I would have picked this stuff up. I did most of the rest of the work on there too. If I had professionals do it, it would have cost $4,000. Instead, I went to court. I got a judgment of $2,500 against them because I did the work.
We've got a motion been made and seconded before us to amend the assessment from 369 to 150. Further discussion, Bob?
One additional thing is, on your list, we do have several of these, and so if you'd like to take 3 more minutes and look at some comparable ones to see if this falls in line, you can certainly go through that. That's your discretion.
Due process is expensive. When you look at the fact that the city has to go out and verify the fact that there is a complaint, to send a person out to do that, send a person out to see if it was done correctly, that's expensive. It isn't as if you just hired or called someone and say, take your pickup and go pick up the garbage. It's not what it's. And I think we ought to understand that, as Vernon has said, Kevin has said, the city is not in this type of business. It's not our expertise. And it's expensive when you dispatch a vehicle to go do a specific job. And I think it's unfortunate that you did not get notification. I don't understand that, because if your forwarding mail address was correct, you should have been forwarded. And if it wasn't
Further comments? We got a motion to amend from 369 to 150. Everybody understand that motion? All in favor of the motion to amend will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no.
Council members Benega?
No.
Brown?
No.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
No.
Kavanaugh?
No.
Knutson?
No.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
That motion to amend failed 5-3. We're back. Other questions of Gene or of anyone else wish to address council on item 14? If you do, come forward and your name and address, please.
My name is Christy Adams, and I live at 1504 West La Quinta. And I had a house for sale on 5305 West 53rd Street under Christy Ellefson. And like the guy before me, I did not get any notice of anything until I got the bill for $150 for cutting down a branch or two off my tree over the sidewalk. We've lived in that house since my son was in 3rd grade, and he just graduated from Roosevelt. And we've trimmed that tree every year, and this year we weren't in the house, and I didn't, when we would drive by the property, we didn't see that, you know, how low the tree was hanging over the sidewalk. I mean, I took my dog for walks down there, and it wasn't that low. But I'm just, you know, to get a bill in the mail for $150 when we've taken care of the tree, you know, Pat and I have taken care of that tree since Seth was in 3rd grade there, and we didn't get to it this year, and then I get a bill for $150.
Yes. Can I assume that tree was in the city right away?
It was what?
In the city right away? Was it in the boulevard?
Yeah, it was in my lawn, but it went over the sidewalk. It's not, wasn't in the boulevard.
Oh, it was on your private property then?
Yes.
Okay.
Further questions? Christy, thank you.
Can we see the pictures of the tree?
Do we have the pictures? Christy, we got.
Good evening. Dwayne Stahl, Forestry Supervisor, Parks and Recreation. What was the address of this property?
5305 West 53rd Street.
We have a procedure that is pretty strict as far as how we take complaints and inspections on nuisances in the city. And our process, I explained to you in a briefing a few weeks ago, so I won't get into that in detail tonight. In this case, this is in the Project Trim area where we're doing a section of the community at a time to get a lot of these low-hanging branches over the streets and sidewalks up to the ordinance height in a cycle that we can do manageably. We originally had inspected this property in February 6th of 2006 and generated a letter at this address that went out on 3/2/06. In that letter, we asked that this property be trimmed by April 30th, which was approximately 8 weeks from the letter. After April 30th, we re-inspected the property, found it to still be in violation. So we have adopted a procedure where we leave a second notice on our tree trimmings. That notice was left on 5/15. That was an extension date to 5/15, which is usually about a week or two past the due date. We came back on 5/16, found the property was still in violation, and the city crew had trimmed the property. This is a photo before we trimmed. Our ordinance height is 10 feet over the sidewalk, and this picture here demonstrates that was not the case and gave us the need to get this property trimmed to the ordinance height. I would ask the council to uphold our ordinance. We followed our procedure, proper notification, and we did trim this, and I'd like for the council to recover the cost to the city.
Questions? Kevin?
Galen, do you know where the letter was sent to? Galen.
The house was empty from January till June.
The letter was sent to 5305 West 53rd Street. We also used the city tax roll to get our legal notices to the proper property owners. I have a copy here of a parcel record of June 6th with the address of the property and the property owner. And that was also verified with the county records also. This is the master display at the Minnehaha County Office of Equalization.
Thank you. Christy, you said the property was vacant from January to June?
From January 4th until the second weekend of June, the house was empty.
Okay.
It was on the
Did you have mail forwarded to another location?
Yes, I did have it
Okay.
forwarded.
Kermit?
Yeah, Dwayne, if I could just ask you a similar question that I've asked previously. It looks like we're spending tremendous amounts of time going to this tree, looking at it, taking pictures, going back and forth, back and forth. Has there been any thought of just trying to call this person by looking in the phone directory?
We spend a lot of time doing
Tremendous
these ordinances. We probably have in our ordinances that I oversee upwards to 1,500 of these a year with weeds and trees. And it takes a lot of time just to investigate to see where the property owner or the legal owner of the property is before we send our letters. And that's our policy and that's our procedure that we have presented to the council.
Yeah, I guess I would just suggest if you just look in the phone book and you find their name, just call them and just tell them, hey, have a little problem here. Can you kind of correct it?
Other questions of either one? Not, thank you. Others who wish to address the council? Bob, go ahead.
Question. Did you live in the house until you listed it for sale?
Pat and I bought a house on La Quinta. We moved out of there on January 4th, and the house had been empty, and it was listed through Harlan-Ten Naples, and the house was vacant, and we forwarded the mail, and we never ever received any notice because we gladly would have cut it down instead of being charged $150.
Did you receive other forwarded mail?
No, yeah, we received all of our other forwarded mail. Yep, we did. And then the first thing I get was a bill for $150 on June 8th.
Further questions? Not, thank you very much. Others that wish to address the council on item number 14? Any others? Come forward, give your name and address, please.
Hi, my name is Han Nguyen. I live in the house is 6400 West 54th Street, and I received the bill is cost $150 for a trimmer tree on July 1st, and my tree only is 5 years old, and I look at the tree not hand out a sidewalk because I mow the yard and I look at the tree is small and not hand out a sidewalk. My city sent me the bill $150, and then I did not receive the notice for trim the tree, and I received the bill, and I called the city hall. I said, why they charged me $150 for trim the tree, only a couple of rents. And later on in City Hall, he told me we don't have to give you a notice. And I say, well, how you guys don't give me a notice? How I know my street has now a sidewalk and I can trim it? Take me only about a couple of minutes to trim because the street is small.
Questions? Not. Thank you very much, Dwayne. Dwayne, come on up. Oh, go ahead, Kermit.
Yeah, Han, I was going to ask you, is this tree on your private property or is it on the city right away?
Yeah, it's my property.
Your private property?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
On this case, this actual invoice was recommended for forgiveness on July 27th. I don't know why it was put on the roll tonight for special assessment.
Yeah.
So that's off. Then that shouldn't be on here. We don't
Yeah.
take any action. It's just off. Okay.
Yeah, hey, I'm glad there's forgiveness on this one, Dwayne. Can you tell us why?
Well, each time that we do a case, and we do a lot of them, and we get somebody that wants to contest it, before it goes to this point, we look at all the factors and determine if this was a legitimate case or reasoning behind the party, the citizen not following our directives. And in this case, that was found to be the case, that proper notification wasn't given.
Okay.
Okay.
Proper notification wasn't given.
So yours has been forgiven. So, okay. Others who wish to address the council on item number 14. Others that wish to address the council. See no one coming forward on item 14. Is there council discussion or action?
Just to double check, is he deleted, Dwayne, from the list that we have, the assessment?
No, he's on the list.
He's still on there.
Is it 6400 West 54th Street? Maybe I got the wrong address here, so maybe it's not.
He hasn't been forgiven yet? So we have to forgive him, I guess, formally. I move to strike Han's assessment.
Well, let's just do it. It would be safe. Okay, Staggers.
Second, Costello.
Costello seconded.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
That's ID number 064416.
That's what I got. Is that the right one? That's what I've got. 064416 is what I have. That's one we're voting on. Is that correct? Okay. That's the one that Staggers made a motion, Costello seconded to delete from the roll. Yeah. Okay. All in favor of that motion will vote yes. Those opposed vote no.
Council members Benega,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jameson,
Yes.
Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
That motion prevails. That has been, is there any discussion or motions on item 14?
Move for approval.
Kavanaugh moves. Is there a second?
I second that motion.
Second by Brown.
Yeah.
All in further discussion? Not?
Yes.
Kevin?
I don't know. It seems like in the past 6 years, we always have a handful of people coming and saying they didn't get notified. And I'm not sure what it would cost us to send out a piece of mail that would verify that we actually mailed something, so that if it doesn't get delivered, we know. Have we ever thought of that as a procedure?
Galen Huber, Parks and Recreation. We took a look at it under our ordinances that we enforce. We send out about a little over 3,000 letters. Right now, we send it out first class rate, and we talked about sending it out registered mail. It costs about not quite $3 a letter to send it out registered mail. We have so many people that we have such a small portion of people that claim that they haven't got the letter, but they still get the invoice when we send it out to the same address. that we decided that it wasn't worth the taxpayers' money to increase it and go to registered mail. We still feel that this process is still working properly because of such a few number of people that when they call in to complain, their excuse is that they didn't get proper notification.
Further comments? We've got a motion's been made and seconded to approve item 14. I see no further discussion. Oh, you got one.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Tonight, we have forgiven one person who said they did not receive proper notification. We had two other people who said they did not receive proper notification, and we're going to charge them. Coupled with the fact how many people on this list who are not even here tonight might not have received proper notification. And also, the charging that we're doing for these citizens. You know, the city of Sioux Falls is supposed to help the citizenry. It's not to punish them like this, charging $180 per hour to take the trash to the landfill. So I think that we should be taking a closer look here at how we can deal with this issue rather than just having these excessive assessments against these people.
Further comments? Motion been made, seconded. Kevin?
Well, I'll say it again. I don't think the assessments are excessive, when you take into consideration that we are not in the business, nor should we be, of trimming trees, taking garbage to the landfill. This is something that I'm sure if we were to audit this, and maybe we will, we would find that these costs are legitimate costs. And Kermit, you always talk about the city, getting their money back for what they're doing. That's all we're doing here.
If I could respond to that
quickly,
comment. Yeah, I don't want the city to get ripped off, and I don't want the citizenry to get ripped off. And this looks like an example where the citizens are just simply being charged excessively.
Yeah. Okay, we've got a motion been made and seconded to approve item 14. I see no further discussion. All in favor of the motion to approve, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Council members Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
No.
All members present voted. Item 14 has been approved, 7 yes and 1 no, so that's been approved. Item 15.
A resolution authorizing the city of Sioux Falls to give to the city of Martin, Viborg, and Delmont 3 police vehicles.
This is a resolution to donate these 3 cars to these 3 municipalities. We ran, first these cars are all right at 100,000 miles in usage. We ran a NADA check on the trade-in value, and all 3 of the cars, the trade-in value was $6,000 and change.
Questions of Gene on item 15? Others that wish to address it? Kevin?
Each of these has about a $6,000 trade-in value?
Yes. I tell you, this is based on NADA. We pulled up over the internet.
And do we not normally trade in police vehicles or not?
Police vehicles are normally surplus and sold on the auction.
Surplus. And according to the language of the ordinance here, each of the 3 municipalities that we are donating these to expressed an interest in actually purchasing police vehicles.
Doug, you want to address that?
Annually, we receive requests from different entities that would like some of our surplus vehicles. Even though the trade-in value in the NADA is $6,000, in reality at auction they probably bring closer to about $2,000. Every year I get several requests, and this year we had requests from these. The requests were not to purchase them. As a matter of fact, most of these cities have 1- or 2-man departments that their budgets simply can't support purchasing new vehicles or even used vehicles. Most of them have cars that are upwards. Matter of fact, one of them had one that had 290,000 miles on it, and they talk about whether or not they're going to replace something with the city sewer system or buy a used squad car for the city. So we look at it as a way to give back to some of these smaller communities that obviously bring a lot of tax dollars to our city, and I think it goes a long way in showing a good effort on our part to extend that to them. It's, as I said, these cars, even though they may sound like they're in fairly decent shape, I'll be frank with you, they're very tired cars, so they've reached their the end of their life with us, but for a one-man department, they certainly have a little more use left in them.
Relatively speaking, they will be new to them.
Good, Bob.
I had something for Gene there. Maybe you could answer. You know, if I would do this business-wise, I'd be able to depreciate this vehicle or write it off as a gift. Is there any financial advantage to the city for doing this at all?
Not really, no.
Okay.
We don't pay taxes, so it's hard to get a tax advantage.
Further questions on item number 15?
Move for approval, Benninger.
I second.
Kavanaugh.
Bennica moves, Knutson seconded. Further comments? Seeing no further comments, all in favor of the motion to approve item 15 will vote yes. Those opposed vote no.
Council members Benega,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello.
Yes.
Jameson,
Yes.
Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
All men present voted. Item 15 has been approved 8-0. Item 16.
A resolution advising and giving consent to the appointment of members to certain citizen boards.
Do you want to just read those, what they're for? Do you have that here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
The names and the boards are Dean Sorensen, Airport Authority Board, Hal Wick, Airport Authority Board, David Thompson, Electrical Board of Appeals and Examiners, Greg Branagh, Infrastructure Review Advisory Board, Mark Cotter, Infrastructure Review Advisory Board, Robert Ellis, Plumbing Board of Appeals, Heather Dant, Visual Arts Commission, Chris Carmody Reeves, Visual Arts Commission, Greg Dix, Solid Waste Planning Board, Merle Woolman, Solid Waste Planning Board.
Is there any questions or motions on item number 16?
Move for approval, Jameson.
Motion been made. Jameson, who seconded?
Second, Brown.
Brown, second. Further discussion? See no further discussion, all in favor, will vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Council members Benega,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello.
Yes.
Jameson,
Yes.
Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
All members present voted 8-0. Item 16 approved. Item 18.
A resolution vacating North Louise Avenue from Benson Road to 740 feet south and North Markey Avenue from Louise Avenue to 31 feet south as shown on attached exhibit.
This is a vacation request that we don't see very often. The existing road, Louise Avenue, is constructed, and based on changes to the business park, it was redesigned and moved westerly. The petitioners followed the appropriate procedures, and our one request was that he would get confirmation from the property owner to the north, which is Richard Cutler. Richard Cutler has sent a letter via Craig Lloyd that he supports this, and so at this point, we don't have any concerns.
Questions of Mark on item number 18? Let's go to 19 then.
A resolution vacating South Anthony Avenue from north property line of Lot 12, Block 1, Troyville addition to southwest property corner of Lot J, County Auditor Subtract 1, Government Lot 1, Northeast 1/4, Section 12-100-51.
This one is located in the southwest part of town. This is a different situation from our standpoint. Petitioner has followed the guidelines, but the night of the hearing we will have strong concerns recommending this based on the transportation network of the area.
Further questions of Mark on 19?
Move to set the date of hearing October 10th at 7 p.m.
Okay, Jameson moved. Is there a second?
Second, Litz.
Litz seconded to set the hearing date for items 18 and 19. Further discussion? No further discussion. All in favor of the motion to set the hearing date will vote yes. Those opposed vote no.
Council members Benega,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jameson,
Yes.
Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
All members present have voted. Item
Mr. Chairman,
18 and 19 will be approved. Yes.
I'd like to request a 5-minute recess.
It's so granted. We will 5-minute
little bit of it. I was kind of watching part of the football game with my duties off. Oh, nice one. Go watch it.
I don't see anything wrong with that either. I think there's times that that's a good idea. Tom? Yes, it is. It's morning.
It is. Thank you. Knocking them down, good. Yeah, it's warmed up. There's more people here than It sounded like it. If that's true. I don't understand Dunham yet. I feel this. Oh, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. None of those are just his.
I hope somebody's finding that understand.
The drinks, ice cream is not the ice cream, but the drinks, coffee and stuff for the veteran. I think you're probably right.
How are you? That's okay. I don't care. This has been the busiest summer. It's just nuts. No, you're. I mean, still thinking about it, but I think I'm okay with seconding it.
There's a kind of a
they got a, what, 15% increase last year? That's what I remember. It doesn't make any difference. I'm not going to argue about it a little bit.
Did you get any supper tonight, Bob? Just going to kick the M&Ms out there.
All right, is everybody back?
Got some of them. I wanted some of that.
We'll ask the, try to call the council back to order.
Excuse me.
Just tell me whenever you're ready. Okay, we'll call the council back to order. We're on item number 17.
A resolution adopting the budget for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2007.
Could we get, could we, go ahead, Gene, then we'll get go ahead.
I haven't got much to say. This is the budget that was submitted by the mayor to the council on July 26th, I believe, as it was. And it's the mayor's proposal for the fiscal year 2007, calendar year, I guess.
Questions of Gene on that? If not, is there a motion to approve it, and then for discussion purposes?
Move for approval, Jameson.
Jameson moves. There a second?
Second, Benninger.
Okay, we've got a second, okay. So we've got the motion made and seconded. Now, is there further discussion on item number 17 on the budget? Is there further discussion? Is there any motions? Who's going to take A1? That's the museum?
Mr. Mayor,
Yeah.
I'll just go ahead and move that one.
Okay.
Yes. I move to amend the 2007 general fund budget by increasing Department 49 General Government Services, other current City County Museum contractual service by $406, changing the total amount from $526,933 to $527,339.
Second, Kavanaugh.
Which one is that now?
A1.
A1.
A1. Dealing with the museum.
Okay, was that yours?
I just moved it.
Okay, good, okay. Who seconded?
Kavanaugh.
Okay, Kevin. Go ahead, Gene.
This is item A1. All this is doing is truing up the difference that came up. There was a refinement of the budget by the county commission and the museum, and so we're just truing that up by an amount of $406.
Further discussions on A1? Got a motion been made and seconded. Further discussion? Not. Is there we got the motion made. All in favor of that motion to amend will vote yes. Those opposed vote no.
Council members Benega,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jameson,
Yes.
Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Knutson.
Yes.
Litz.
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
That motion been approved 8-0. Further amendments? Do you want to read that?
A2.
Mr. Mayor, we have an amendment, A2, which is some changes at the fire department. I believe that the fire chief did review these with the council before, and he's available to answer any additional questions or explain it in more detail.
Do you want to explain it? Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, I would move for
Kevin?
approval of the amendment.
Kevin, I'll move to the second.
I'll second that. Mo.
Knutson seconded.
Okay, sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Okay, this was the action taken to amend the program on August 7th. It removes our Hose Tower Restoration Fire Station 1 to 2009, including all three costs, the $191,300 for the construction, the $34,940 for engineering, and $10,000 for the grant funds from the Deadwood Restoration Grant. The next thing that it does is it moves the remodel of Fire Station 5 at 10th Street and Chicago Avenue up from 2008 to 2007, which will add $68,765 to the capital budget.
Are there questions of Rick on Amendment 2? Got a motion been made and seconded. All in favor of that motion to approve will vote yes. Those opposed vote no.
Council members Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present voted. That amendment has been approved 8-0. A3.
This is one more essentially housekeeping amendment that we would propose, moving $15,500 from the legal department to the city clerk's office. This is primarily for publishing the ordinances and activities of the city council.
Move for approval
of the amendment.
Did Costello do it? Or Kavanaugh? Who?
Second. Costello.
Okay, Costello seconded. Motion been made and seconded to approve that. Further discussion? Not all in favor of that motion to approve, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Council members Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Costello?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
All members present voted. That amendment has been approved 8-0. There's other amendments?
Yes. I would like to make a motion to, I would like to make a motion to increase, I'm sorry, I just lost my place where I am. I want to restore the Sioux Empire Arts Council to last year's budget level.
So your motion is to add $4,973 and from the 32,027 that was?
Yes, and I would like to speak to that
Okay.
when I could.
Okay, motion been made. Is there a second?
Second, Litz.
Let's second it. Okay, go ahead. You got the floor.
Okay, sorry that I got confused there for a second. I know that all of you on the city council are very supportive of the arts, and I do think that our city has been undergoing an arts renaissance, you might say, in the last few years. And the Sioux Empire Arts Council, I know you know lots about it, and there was lots of testimony last week, so I will try not to duplicate very much of any of that testimony. But I would like to remind you that the Sioux Empire Arts Council really does act as an umbrella for all of the wonderful arts programs that go on 12 months of the year in our city. And as you know, the executive director, who works very hard, Deb Klebanoff, has her office at the Horse Barn. And so, yes, the Sioux Empire Arts Council does have office space provided by us. But on the other hand, they manage the Horse Barn for us. I mean, and 7 days a week now. And with the increased traffic at Falls Park, you read recently that the 1 millionth visitor was recently visited the Falls Park, that was recorded anyway in the last week or 10 days, is that there are many different exhibits that are displayed every week at the Horse Barn. And I'm just saying that if we paid someone to manage the Horse Barn, I believe it would cost us way more than the amount of subsidy, if you want to call it that word, that we have given the Sioux Empire Arts Council in the past. And I want to remind you of something else. You know that I am not trying to increase the amount for, from what was requested, though I really could do that pretty easily, really easily, but I'm not even trying to do that. I'm trying to be pretty good tonight. But I also want to remind you that the structure of the Arts Council Board is such that there are what you kind of call slots, and so you have a slot for the school district, and you have a slot for the pavilion, and you have a slot for Jazz and Blues Society, and you have a slot for the South Dakota Symphony, and I could go on and on and on. But the point is that is the way the Sioux Empire Arts Council is composed as far as the board. So all of those entities that I just mentioned to you, they themselves are always out trying to raise money for themselves, which is fine because they need money too. So I'm just saying that is a drawback as far as the Sioux Empire Arts Council being out there really raising millions of dollars from corporations. But as you also know, because I'm sure you received their membership letter each year, and I shouldn't say their, I should say our, because I am a member of the Arts Council, have always been very supportive of the arts. I'm even wearing their button tonight. But, I mean, there clearly is an ongoing effort every year to bring in more members, and the membership dues are not very much, which is good. And I think there are only about 300 members at this point, but our capital campaign is underway once again. And, well, that's probably almost enough for tonight. But again, we are trying to raise money on our own, and I'd really appreciate your support of just restoring this city budget the subsidy to last year's level. That's all I'm asking for, again, in a $296 million budget. Thank you.
Further comments on the motion to amend? Others wish to address council on the motion to amend? Got a motion before us that's been made and seconded to amend, and it restores the Arts Council to the $37,000 level from $32,027. Everybody understands the motion? All in favor of that motion to approve the proposed amendment will vote yes. Those opposed vote no.
Council members Benega,
Yes.
Brown,
No.
Costello,
Yes.
Jameson,
No.
Kavanaugh,
No.
Knudsen,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers.
No.
Yes. I know. But I just-
Thank you.
Okay, any more amendments?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I have a motion to amend the main motion. Excuse me, I just lost my place. To amend the 2007 general fund budget by decreasing Department 49 General Government Services transfers the contingency fund by $2.4 million, changing the amount from $2.4 million to zero, and reducing the amount to be provided by unreserved fund balance by $2.4 million.
Is there a second?
Second, Litz.
Let's second. Further comments on the motion to amend? Go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, this is a philosophical difference and I guess a change in the way I would like to see our city operate and budget their expenses. We have an established contingency reserve that we've worked on for many, many years to be a percentage of our total general operating budget. Currently, it's about 25% of the operating budget. I know contingency reserves give the council and the mayor some flexibility, but I believe in these real difficult and stringent economic times that we need to be looking at this on a line-by-line item basis. We were given today a history of beginning balances in our contingency accounts and the amount that were transferred out of that account. And frankly, we have not used the monies since 2002 through 2006 that we have been budgeting. Therefore, I'd like to wean ourselves, if possible, from using contingency reserves and address those line item issues on a piece-by-piece basis. And I believe that this is less than 1% of our total operating and CIP budget, and I think this is a step towards doing that, and I would recommend your approval.
Further comments on the motion to amend that we have before us? Further comments? Not? Okay, Bob.
A question. Gerald, are you proposing then that any shortfalls would come to us for a supplemental appropriation as that occurs?
Thank you, Mr. Jameson. That's exactly what I would like to have happen, is any shortfalls that we have, it would need to be brought to us on a line-by-line item basis for council approval to come out of either unexpended funds or contingency reserve accounts.
Further comments? Not. All in favor of the motion to amend will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no.
Council members Benega,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
No.
Jameson,
Yes.
Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Knudsen,
No.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
That one has been approved. 6-2. Further amendments?
Mr. Mayor?
Okay, I'm just looking at that, I see it, okay, I see it. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. Mr. Mayor, I move to, at the suggestion of the City Council, at the suggestion of the City Clerk, I move to amend the 2007 general fund budget by increasing Department 09, City Council, Professional Services, Legal by adding $12,000, changing the total amount from $0 to $12,000. This will add $12,000 to the city budget.
Is there a second?
Second, Kavanaugh.
Kavanaugh seconds. Further discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I would move to amend to take the $12,000 out of legal services funds in the city attorney's department.
I'll second that motion, the substitute motion.
Your substitute motion do what?
To take the $12,000 out of legal fee services in the city attorney's office.
Okay, has that motion been made and seconded?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I consider that a friendly amendment.
Okay. Further discussion? All in favor of that motion, substitute motion, will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no.
Council members Benega,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jameson,
Yes.
Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Knudsen,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
That motion passes. Further motions?
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
The next motion I'm going to present is to prevent a city property tax increase for 2007. I move to amend the 2007 general fund budget by decreasing Department 49, General Government Services, Minnehaha and Lincoln Counties, current year real estate taxes, CIP adjustment, by $907,478, changing the total amount from $35,064,386 to $34,156,908. This will save the citizens of Sioux Falls $907,478 in taxes.
Second?
Second, Litz.
Comments?
Yeah. This is the 150th anniversary of the city of Sioux Falls, and during this year we've had many celebrations. And I think it's very appropriate in this 150th year of the city of Sioux Falls to give a gift to all the citizens of Sioux Falls, and that is no city property tax increase for 2007. It's quite appropriate to do this considering the last time that we did not have an automatic city property tax increase was in the late 1980s. Recently, many elderly citizens have begun expressing more and more concerns about the city property tax increases. I have one example, which is a voicemail that I received. And at this time, I'm going to play the voicemail of a senior citizen.
Mr. Mayor, point of order.
Go ahead.
Are we taking public testimony? I would
No,
consider
this is part of
public
my
testimony.
my argument. Yeah,
How long is it?
49 seconds.
Go ahead.
Okay, Brenda.
Income that's not double, it's just a single income. And if this bunch up there at City Hall is going to keep this up, I can't live in my home, and I'm supposed to be able to, as a senior citizen, live in my home as long as possible, and this raising taxes is ridiculous. So just thought I'd call you and have you represent us as income people that are getting taxes raised very soon. We can't even live home. We'll have to get on welfare somehow. But that's what it's happening. Thank you.
Further questions, further comments?
If I could just add, I'm sorry the quality did not come across very well on our microphone system, but basically I would hope the City Council would heed the advice of this caller not to raise the property tax increases. It's hurting the senior citizens.
Kevin?
Councilman Staggers, did you attempt to assist this taxpayer by indicating his eligibility for the senior property tax freeze?
Well, this was an anonymous phone call.
How convenient.
Further comments?
It's true.
Vernon?
no one likes to increase taxes, but we have a one-time shot at this, because if we don't increase the property taxes, Mr. Staggers calls it a gift. It's a gift that we'll keep taking from this community, taking away police service, taking away fire service, taking away parks services. The way that the tax is structured in South Dakota, we don't have a choice but to take the amount allowed by us. I encourage you to vote against this.
Gene, do you want to talk about when you do that, when you just decrease that, what it does in compounding?
This particular proposal has the impact of fixing the base from which you can calculate property taxes going forward. You would eliminate the almost $1 million here, $900,000, we'll say. You will eliminate that this year. Next year, you would lose that in the base, so you would not only lose the $907,000, you would lose another percentage against that, whatever is allowed by the state, a maximum of 3%. The real rub is, and Councilman Brown is right on, the real rub is once you lose this under state law, you can never get that base back, ever. And I don't think it would be a good thing for the citizens of Sioux Falls to lose that flexibility, at least. There are other ways to deal with the, if you want to somehow reduce the taxes, but you can't, you really, I would strongly recommend that you don't do this, because once it's done, it can never be undone unless the state law is changed.
Yes. Yes, Gene, what you're pointing out is correct. But also, wouldn't you say this is a real benefit to the citizens of Sioux Falls? They're never going to have to worry about this additional tax increase. This is a benefit for the citizens. This is going to make sure the citizens keep the money in their pockets, instead of being concerned that in the future we might even have a more gigantic tax increase.
Councilman Staggers, we've had this discussion before. You lose this forever, and you can't ever recover it, and I don't think you're doing the citizens of Sioux Falls any favors by taking that flexibility away from them. There are other ways of doing it, which you have in a later, which you have in another resolution in here. If you really want to do that, use that approach rather than doing this one, which locks it in forever. If the city of Sioux Falls needed additional revenue, and really the citizens are the ones to determine this, the citizens are look to us, look to the council to provide a certain service level. And frankly, the citizens should be deciding what they want that service level at and how much they're willing to pay. And if you don't take this tax increase, the citizens of Sioux Falls never have the ability to request a service level using any of these funds. They will be gone forever.
But once again, Gene, what the city loses here, we're talking about $907,478. The city of Sioux Falls is not going to go bankrupt because of that. But what the city loses here, the citizens of Sioux Falls gain $907,478. This is money that is not going to be taken from them. This is a gain for the citizenry. Granted, this is a loss for the city of Sioux Falls, but it's a gain for the citizenry. And we're supposed to represent the citizenry. And, you know, the comment was made, nobody likes to raise taxes. You know, I cannot remember a time on the city council since I've been here when we voted out any taxes. It's easy to pass taxes, very easy. So I think we should be taking a stand here one time since the late 1980s, not to have a city property tax increase.
That's the point, Councilman. You don't take it just once. You take it this year, and you take it next year, and you take it the year after that, and the year after that, and it is compounded every year. That is the problem with it. You can never get it back.
Kevin, Chairman,
citizens.
Let's look at Kevin.
I see no other council members wishing to speak on this issue. I call for the question.
Okay, in further discussion? Did you call the question? Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Okay, motion been made and seconded. All in favor, call the question. Will vote yes. Those opposed, vote no.
Councilmember Benega?
No.
Brown,
No.
Costello,
No.
Jameson,
No.
Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Litz,
No.
Staggers.
No.
That motion fails. Further discussion?
I would ask Councilman Staggers what services he would cut for the $908,000.
Well, I happen to have a few amendments this evening to do that.
Would you
So we are
specify
going to go
those?
through these. No, we're going to be going through these this evening.
Let's-
What we could do is maybe go through some of these cuts first and come back to this. I'm not sure, but I do have some cuts, yes.
We got the motion for it. Let's take it up. Go ahead, Bob.
Oh, was there, I think I might be confused about what we just voted on.
You vote on call the question.
We did not hear that, I'm sorry.
Didn't you? Well, the motion was to call the question. Further discussion on the Stagger amendment on the $907,000. Further discussion? Okay, now we got a motion to lower the property tax, or not take the property tax, $907,478. Everybody understand that part?
Yeah. If I could also just clarify something. This would mean that for the first time since the late 1980s, the citizens of Sioux Falls will not have a city property tax increase. Now, does that mean the city is not going to get more in property taxes? No, that's not true, because we're continuing to have more and more development here. And so we have these new businesses coming into Sioux Falls and paying property taxes. We're actually going to collect more property taxes next year, even if we don't have, even if we allow the citizens to keep this $907,478. We're still going to have more in property tax revenue.
Okay, we got the motion before us. Everybody understands that motion, what it will do? Okay. All in favor of Kermit's motion to amend will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no.
Council members Benega,
No.
Brown,
No.
Costello,
No.
Jameson,
No.
Kavanaugh,
No.
Knutson,
No.
Litz,
No.
Staggers.
Yes.
That motion failed. Further motions?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
That was just an example of how easy it is to pass a property tax increase. My next motion, though, is to rebate to the citizens of Sioux Falls the city's property tax increase of $907,478 for 2007. I move to amend the general fund budget by adding a property tax rebate program in the amount of $907,478.
Is there a second? That motion dies for lack of a second. Further motions?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
The next motion is to eliminate sidewalk inspectors. I move to amend the 2007 general fund budget by deleting the sidewalk inspectors from Engineering Department 14, Division 1, for a total reduction of $108,081, saving the city $108,081.
Is there a second? That dies for lack of a second. Further amendments?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
The next amendment I have would eliminate city restaurant inspectors and have the state assume that responsibility.
Is there a second?
I move to amend the 2007 general fund budget by deleting the health restaurant inspectors from Department 18, Division 4, for a net reduction of $73,495, thereby saving the city $73,495.
I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Is there a second? That dies for lack of a second. Further amendments?
The next amendment, Mr. Mayor, reduces the city's subsidy to the Washington Pavilion to the level of 2006. I move to amend the 2007 Entertainment Tax Fund budget by decreasing Department 69, Washington Pavilion Professional Services, Independent Contractor, Washington Pavilion Management Incorporated subsidy by $40,493, changing the total amount from $1,347,000 to $1,306,507, saving the city $40,493.
Is there a second? Dies for lack of a second. Is there further amendments?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
The next amendment recovers the rent the city paid for the mayor's sesquicentennial luncheon that was held at the Washington Pavilion. I move to amend the 2007 Entertainment Tax Fund budget by decreasing Department 69 Washington Pavilion, Professional Services, Independent Contractor, Washington Pavilion Management Incorporated subsidy by $800, changing the total amount from $1,347,000 to $1,346,000 to $346,200, saving the city $800.
Is there a second? Dies for lack of a second. Further amendments?
Mr. Mayor, the next amendment that I have is designed to get rid of the red light cameras. I move to amend the 2007 general fund budget by decreasing Department 49, General Government Services, civil penalties, red light violations by $475,000, changing the total amount from $475,000 to zero. The 2007 general fund budget by decreasing Department 14, Engineering Professional Services, Independent Contractor by $340,000, changing the total amount from $587,500 to $247,500.
Is there a second? That dies for lack of a second. Further amendments?
This amendment is designed to reduce the city's subsidy to the transit system. I move to amend the 2007 general fund budget by decreasing Department 49, General Government Services, Transfers, Transit by $100,000, changing the total amount from $3,537,785 to $3,437,785, saving the city $100,000.
Second? Dies for lack of a second. Further amendments?
Mr. Mayor, the next amendment I have is designed to get rid of random drug testing of city employees. I move to amend the 2007 general fund budget by decreasing Department 07, Human Resources, Professional Services, Drug and Alcohol Testing by $36,135, changing the total amount from $72,985 to $36,850, saving the city $36,850.
Is there a second? Dies for lack of a second. Further amendments?
This next amendment is designed to stop the increase in the cable franchise tax. I move to amend the 2007 general fund budget by decreasing Department 49, General Government Services, Licenses and Permits, Cable TV, by $409,247, changing the total amount from $999,247 to $590,000, saving the citizens of Sioux Falls $409,247.
Second?
Second. Brown.
Brown seconded. Okay, further discussion?
Well, very simply, this amendment is designed to prevent the cable franchise tax increase. And I think we've probably heard a lot from the citizens who are concerned about an increase in their cable bills.
Mayor, excuse me, I would like to remove myself from this discussion
Okay.
because of financial
It'll be
conflict
noted that
reasons.
Councilmember Knudsen is excused. Further comments? Go ahead, Vern.
I'm opposing this and encouraging others to support this amendment for a couple of reasons. First of all, the council had asked that this come before us before the budget, and that deadline was missed by the administration. Also, Midco was not informed in a timely manner, and there is a process to be observed when we go through this budget, and this is a policy decision that should have come before the budget, and for that reason I'll be opposing it.
Further comments? Not. All in favor of the motion to amend will vote yes. Those opposed vote no.
Council members Benega,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello.
No.
Jameson,
Yes.
Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
That one passes. Further amendments?
Mr. Mayor, the next amendment I have is designed to get rid of discriminatory taxation of certain residents on East 21st Street. I move to amend the 2007 general fund budget by decreasing Department 64 Parks and Recreation taxes frontage by $3,304, changing the total amount from $3,304 to zero, saving the residents on 21st Street $3,304.
Second? That dies for lack of a second. Further amendments?
Mr. Mayor, the next amendment I have is to reduce the city subsidy to Main Street, Sioux Falls. I move to amend the 2007 general fund budget by decreasing Department 25, Planning and Building Services, Professional Services, Main Street by $59,000, changing the total amount from $159,500 to $100,000, saving the city $59,000.
Is there a second? That dies for lack of a second. Further amendments?
The next amendment I have is designed to reduce the city subsidy to the Sioux Falls Development Foundation. I move to amend the 2007 general fund budget by decreasing Department 25, Planning and Building Services, Professional Services, Sioux Falls Development Foundation by $75,000, changing the total amount from $175,000 to $100,000, saving the city $75,000.
Is there a second? That dies for lack of a second. Further amendments?
Mr. Mayor, the next amendment I have is designed to reduce the city subsidy to the Sioux Falls Business Leadership Network. I move to amend the 2007 general fund budget by decreasing Department 49, General Government Services, other current Sioux Falls Business Leadership Network by $3,750, changing the total amount from $3,750 to zero, saving the city $3,750.
Is there a second? That dies for lack of a second. Further amendments?
The next amendment I have is designed to eliminate the city subsidy for what some people consider a violent sport. I move to amend the 2007 general fund budget by decreasing Department 49, General Government Services, other current, Siouxland Amateur Boxing by $4,500, changing the total amount from $4,500 to zero, saving the city $4,500.
Is there a second? That dies for lack of a second. Further amendments?
The next amendment I have is designed to eliminate a city subsidy for a so-called youth forum. I move to amend the 2007 general fund budget by decreasing Department 49, General Government Services, other current youth counseling schools, youth forum, delete line, by $17,500, changing the total amount from $291,076 to $273,576, saving the city $17,500.
Is there a second? That dies for lack of a second. Further amendments?
And the last amendment I have is designed to eliminate a city subsidy for the Jazz and Blues Society. I move to amend the 2000 general fund budget by decreasing Department 49, General Government Services, other current, Sioux Falls Jazz and Blues Society by $7,250, changing the total amount from $7,250 to zero, saving the city $7,250.
Is there a second? That dies for lack of a second. Are there further amendments that we have before us here today, tonight? If not, we've got a motion made and seconded to approve the budget as amended. Is there further discussion on that? Got the motion been made and seconded? Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor of approving the budget as amended will vote yes. Those opposed vote no.
Council members Benega,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jameson,
Yes.
Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Knudsen,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers.
No.
The motion has been approved 7-1. Item 17 has been approved as amended. Where are we at? Now we go to A. We'll just withdraw. 8 will be withdrawn since we passed the other one on the amendments. So is there any other action? That brings us to the end of the agenda. Is that right?
Move to adjourn.
Kavanaugh moves. Is there a second? Let's second it. All in favor will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no.
Council members Benega,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Jameson,
Yes.
Kavanaugh,
Yes.
Knudsen,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers.
Yes.
We are adjourned.